Uchakira Chinsa 12 chamambia. Kila litukuri Jumatatu weka Ijumaa. Umirana na Geoffrey Onserigo, Matilda Omego, Watrana na The Schoolboy James Onkorogo, Asumurule witwa Getembe. Etwa Getembe. Asisiasa, ajagenda tuko kumakuru wa Sebenyorime, amuna maya, emijada lemebao. Asama gazeti, never. Na yanda mwange kurwaso wikwese. Numurule witwa Getembe. Uchakira Chinsa 12 cheli mambia. Wika Chinsa imeguru. Etwa Getembe. Kila litukuri Jumatatu wika Ijumaa. Imi ya Getembe FM na Getembe TV. Ekeonga Kemunto. Ne, aino munchile na no tagete kwa gendredia na wigogo kinya ebyasara byaho elio onyole efaida bono tuichana ebe norogongo rwa gusyole go Chinsa muchinde ebe ni supermarket otagete korelia e wholesale eduka chisukuru chinyagitali chisalon ebe ne kinyonzi electronics shops Obo sombi wika chi event unabono ilia catering egate chinde. Tuakire esimirero wetira asinamba 0741499726 gose 0704765412 Wigo nabukututalira asichabizi chito imeyo muchomo songo asamagacho auru towers ilongoli tangani mbarabali na AM Taylor gose ebengia Kenya Women kinya obunchi libwa ona Getembe TV rero Getembe Television Network Ekeonga Kemunto.
Umugaso mwancho muligereria ndonsia soto bwaterete Chinsa Isano na Ibere chabona mugaso Ekeonga Chinsa Isano na Ibere asenchera ereyo bwikira esenchera ereyo bwenge amange tobereto gokwaliganiria asenchera iyo kuyachutia karibu sana eriyo nkomanye asenchera ereyo bwenge ase Jumapili yeyiga yechitariki Isano na Ibere asomotienyi ogatano nalimo asomwa koyiga eriyo nkomanye ayo twabereto kugusangireria Wilson Makori kurugala sense moyebi Nyerelio nereto kubwaterana na inche ingoko ya leterana igonkoro kwa Ruth Kemunto tara na intwe eleto kumanye na bigo gendere gotobwatia ase mitandao yetu ya Facebook na bigo YouTube na Getembe TV elio ogendere ko yanyoronsi toko chakali molioka nigo oyoling oneganga yokulia ekerogo kyobora ibwenze na bigo le omokonyi bo muraibwe kyama gya Jubilee Dr. Fred Matiang'i abeire kagote babuna nigere buya abarayi kurwa chisekta chonsi kubwaterana eliko ene kibuna omuchando uyogendete kwenekiwa ase chiskuru anene ase chiskuru chigendete koya ase chinsemo omeyense ya Kenya ngochigo ikole omwelio gukwana kurwase kanisa ya Adventista aboli chikoligoro nigo abeire kagote babuna nerebuya habarai kwenekia ngoligereri bale amaslai yaborokiwa ase chiskuru wetera aso kubwaterana na gukwana nelio gelimo eligokora omuchando yo boko yawe chiskuru.
Ruth is our president under the law, and we have not suspended the constitution. So I hope our president will see it as a genuine and sincere need for us to have an all-parties conversation on the education sector in the country. Because it's a crisis, and it is going to blow up sooner than we think. Because when you see the number of kids we are losing in school, 21 burning to ashes, 16 dead, and as my brother says, principals are not able to run schools, they have no money, and the cost is going through the roof, 110,000. We look at those fee schedules, I look at them, I have relatives, we are educating people. I don't think there's anybody here who's not educating a child, even if they are not yours biologically. We're educating a lot of people, relatives and so on. I ask myself, who's going to pay a national school fee of 115,000? The reason why we were putting money in education when we were in the government is so that we make education available and affordable to everybody, because it's the equalizer to all of us. Sisi tunataka watoto waende shule, waendelee kusoma, and we must manage the sector responsibly. There are some solutions that I think, instead of looking like we are criticizing the government all the time, there are some solutions that are within reach. I would advise, I mean, this is unsolicited, I don't have to advise the president, but if I was there myself, I would appoint a PS in charge of transition and the new curriculum. That's what we advised Uhuru. Uhuru had a PS in charge of curriculum and transition to focus on how we're implementing the CBC. I would cut down the wastage of government by over 50% and pour all that money in education and health so that you stabilize the social sectors. I would pull in people for conversations. The Seventh-day Adventist Church has invested in education. Look, many of our churches, the Catholic Church, we used to have endless conversations with the Conference of Catholic Bishops and our pastors because they have a stake, they have an interest. Dr. Mtero here, who leads the education sector and one of our leaders in the church, you can't assume they don't know what is supposed to be done. We listen to them, we sit down with them and work with them. And then slowly we work with the professionals. I would ask the president to get a caucus of these people, plus the role players like the Secondary School Setters Association and so on, and have a honest, all parties conversation on the crisis in the education sector. Otherwise, we are going to lose all our children, we are going to lose a generation, and it's not good for the country. So I will plead with my colleagues, even those ones in the opposition, safari tuweke sasa shida zetu kidogo kando na tofauti zetu kwa hii issue moja tu ya elimu ya watoto wetu. Tukae chini tuone vile tunaweza kuzungumza, and I hope the government will also be reasonable and stop being arrogant and face the challenges they face. And the president can
Ukwana boigo ekerekyo omurai w'ikiama kia Wiper omusike Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka niko benere boigo abiriga koro kia ogoichana kwaye kubwatekana n'emibasukano eyo egendete kwenekiwa ase chisukuru ase aborokiwa bagendete gotongia chisukuru au imeyense ya Kenya ase egati yabo esukuru ya kereri yabirige kwigurira abana emambia yerituko rero eryo bagendenga kubwatekana no kubwatekana amo na mangana hayange ebunayu no boigo esukuru yekerwo nigonero yabirige kuya ase bono abana babiri bakwigurirwa ase bono omusike Kalonzo abirika goteba buna nigo yabiro goichanio konene nga abarai ao nigo bataraba bagokoro butuki boime na koleta ichiburia bwango elyo lirachugo konya gukora omuchando yo aiga asense ya Kenya.
And I'm sure all of us do. And I want to ask that we stand for 1 minute silence as we even ask for order in our secondary schools, in our public schools, as we remember these girls. Thank you. Please be seated. No parent should ever receive the devastating news that a child will never come home again. Their memory deserves more than a moment of silence. It deserves action. I saw a principal secretary literally screaming at our children. That is not the way to do it. Since May, Kenya has watched with growing concern as school after school has experienced unrest, destruction, and fire. Lenana School, State House Girls, Alliance High School, Loreto, Limuru, and even today we are seeing Kakamega High and others, and many others across our country. The signs have been visible for years. Students are raising concerns about living conditions, about food quality, about mental health pressures. I repeat, mental health pressures, inadequate resolution, conflict or grievance resolution mechanisms, an environment where they often feel unheard. Yet, The response has remained largely reactive. This is not a crisis. It is a neglected one. As a nation, we have become too familiar with mourning and too slow in addressing the underlying causes. We gather at school gates after tragedy strikes only to leave the same systematic problems unresolved. Leadership requires more than investigations after lives have been lost. It requires prevention and accountability. And it requires the courage to acknowledge failure when failure has occurred.
Ayuye chiskuru murikyo butambe ase wizara y'obuchano muswatemeri Muthoni nigo abereka gotababune serikali yense ya Kenya nigo yaberigie kweyaligania ase nchira y'obuikirano elyo kurwania ebinyinyi bya Ebola bisegoso aiga ase nse ya Kenya gukwana boigo nigabereka gotababuna abakenya mbabwendereti gotwara kende yonsi bakoboerera ase kiribuna nigo serikali yaberigie kubeka emerobelyo ao ensemo elikwane kibuna ngochikorwanere ebinyinyi ebyo via Ebola.
If we had 47 quarantine centers in this country, I would be sleeping easy. But right now I'm still restless because we need those quarantine centers at whatever cost. We need, when we have a case, a confirmed case, there is somewhere we can we can isolate them. And if we have exposed individuals, there's somewhere they can be quarantined. That's the difference between quarantine and isolation. When you're exposed, we quarantine you. When you have you are confirmed and you're tested and confirmed case, we isolate you from other members of public.
Togo tigana nayo ababwatani ba UDA bali bonse bakubwatesia serikali nigo babiri bagotababuna ense ya Kenya nige eroche asagia aseboigo bamentire nagotababuna umuraibwense Daktari William Ruto nigo agendrete kura abakenya hamone ense ya Kenya asobwamo gochiase aragaya elikone kibuna ense ya Kenya ngukinere gochia asebirengo binde naboigo kogendra komotogia Daktari William Ruto asemeremo batebire emiya agendrete gukora imensi ya Kenya.
Vijana hapa kutoka Teso North kwamba inchi inajengwa na uaminifu, inchi inajengwa na uadilifu, inchi inajengwa na ukweli. Mimi naamini kwamba William Ruto rais wetu aliahidi wananchi wa Kenya hii maendeleo, na sahihi akifanya maendeleo hiyo wengine wananungunika. Mambo ya housing ilikuwa katika manifesto ya kila mtu ya Azimio ya Kenya Kwanza. Mambo ya SHA na healthcare ilikuwa kwa manifesto ya watu wa Azimio na Kenya Kwanza. Mambo ya kupeleka juu pesa ambayo tunaekeza, pesa ya NSSF, tulisema kwamba sio mzuri kila mwaka. Wewe kijana niambie leo, kama miaka 50 rika ya Oku Kaunya hapa ati kila mwaka kula mwezi unaweka shilingi 200 kwa NSSF, itakuwa pesa ngapi ndio ukiretire uwe na pesa kukusaidia? Itakuwa mzuri kweli? That's why in bunge tumesema kwamba pesa ile tunaweka kwa NSSF iwe pesa mingi, tuache kukopa pesa kutoka China, tukopa pesa yetu kama wa Kenya, tujenge pamoja. That is why tunaamini kwamba those who are saying the country is going backwards are refusing to see the truth, are refusing to know that as a country we must make some difficult decisions. We must make some very difficult decisions for the country to move forward. Ningependa kuwasihi wale wanalia mambo ya payslip pale, niwaambie kwamba nchi ya Kenya hatuwezi tukawa tunakopa kila siku. Lazima tujenge nchi yetu na pesa yetu, tujenge nchi yetu na rasilimali yetu. I want all of us to agree that as a country we must
Murigereria nara yukorwa semeza ya mangana maya asenchira ereyo wenge kolenda nandege koraga Chinsa 10 ninginane ngoletera yande asenchira ereyo wenge gende kwegokeria emerobelyu kurugaiga Getembe TV anene bono Ekiro Schools Connect bagendrete kweyaligania elio gokogokia ase TV yago gende gutwara obuligereri borobuya Wilson Makori twabwatirana nere kurugalia sensa moye bimanyererio na boigo Eugene Matogo kwene kelio ginechi bicha byago ikire na inchena ko yaletera Nyamira ni gonkuru kwa Ruth Kemunto.